Okay, so think about this for a second. Your mind is basically a computer, right? It's always running programs in the background. But what if some of those programs are corrupted? Today, we're going to dive into this really powerful idea, how to find those bugs from your past, debug your own mind, and totally reprogram your future. So let's just kick things off with this wild question. What if the vast majority of your life, we're talking up to 95% of it, is being controlled by a program you can't even see? Seriously, just imagine a script running silently, behind the scenes, pretty much dictating your choices, your fears, your entire reality.
All right, so that invisible program, that's what our sources are calling the unconscious mind. So let's jump into section 1 and really get a handle on this hidden operating system that's quietly running so much of our lives.
You've probably seen this iceberg analogy before, and it is the perfect way to picture this. The little tip you see sticking out of the water, that's your conscious mind, the stuff you're aware of every day. But that massive, hidden part underneath the surface, that's the unconscious. And according to our sources, this is where everything gets stored. All your past experiences, your deepest beliefs, and get this, even imprints from past lives. This is the real thing steering the ship.
So just how much control are we talking about here? Well, experts in this field estimate that up to 95% of our actions, our reactions, and our life outcomes are dictated by this unconscious programming. That number is just staggering. It means almost everything we do is basically on autopilot.
Okay, so if our mind is an operating system, what happens when it gets corrupted code? That brings us right to section 2, bugs in the system, where we're going to look at how trauma creates these glitches in our personal programming.
You know, not all system errors are created equal. On one hand, you have the minor glitches, the bugs. Our source material calls these inner child wounds. Think about a teacher shaming you in class. It's an emotional hurt from someone you trusted, and it messes with your self-esteem. But then you've got the other kind, a full-on system crash, or what's called a soul fragment. This is from intense trauma or abuse, and it causes this freeze response that creates a deep void inside and basically puts your whole system in survival mode.
And to really understand how deep this programming can go, one of the experts in our source material shares this incredible story. They had this lifelong, really severe phobia of water. Through their work, they actually came to believe that they had drowned in a past life. As they put it, the memory was gone, but the soul imprint remained. It just goes to show you that some of these bugs might be ancient, carried over from things our conscious mind has no memory of at all.
That all sounds pretty intense, doesn't it? So what do we do about it? How do we actually start debugging the system? Well, section 3 is all about some simple healing tools. Think of it like a DIY toolkit you can use to start cleaning up some of those minor glitches.
First up is something called an energy exchange. It's kind of like restoring your personal data integrity. It's a super simple 4-step process. First, just close your eyes and picture the person you're having an issue with. Second, call on your higher power, the universe, whatever works for you. Third, you ask for your energy back and you give theirs back to them. And finally, just notice the shift as everything rebalances. It's all about reclaiming your own energetic space.
All right, the second DIY tool is cord cutting. The whole idea here is to disconnect from any draining, external networks that are slowing your system down. The process is really straightforward. Sit quietly, scan your body for what feel like energetic cords. Then picture the universe handing you a tool, like giant scissors. You confidently snip each cord you find, and then you just hand them back to the universe to be dissolved.
So those DIY tools are great for everyday maintenance, but for the really deep core-level corruption, our sources point to a much more powerful approach. And that brings us to section 4, where we're going to explore something called access consciousness, which is presented as kind of a professional-grade deep cleaning software for your mind. So the first tool from access consciousness is a question. It's so simple, but it is incredibly profound. For any thought, feeling, or emotion that comes up, you just ask yourself, who does this belong to? The idea is that most of what we feel isn't even ours. It's like malware we've picked up from everyone around us. This question helps you spot it and just let it go. Okay, this next tool is all about taking the power out of those limiting beliefs we all have. It's a simple phrase. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. So when you catch yourself thinking something like, I'm not good enough, you just repeat this phrase. Instead of fighting the belief, you're just labeling it a point of view, not a fact. And that is supposed to neutralize its power, kind of like uninstalling a faulty program. Now, for those obsessive thoughts that just go round and round and round in your head, access consciousness has what it calls a pattern interrupt. And look, it's a bit of a crazy phrase, you just have to go with it. You say, Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. It's not supposed to make logical sense, that's the point. It's designed to scramble your logical mind and break those useless thought loops.
Beyond those phrases, there's a core tool called the clearing statement. It's described as a magical wand. It's a very specific, pretty complex verbal command. We're not going to get into the whole thing here, but its purpose is to target and delete lifetimes of energetic junk files, and you don't even need to consciously know what they are.
So, how is this deep clean actually done, physically? Well, the core technique is called access bars. It involves gently touching 32 specific points on the head. Each point corresponds to an area of life, like money or control or creativity. Our source explains that this process lets the electromagnetic charge of old thoughts and feelings just dissipate. It's basically like hitting delete on all your junk files and doing a full factory reset on your system. Okay, so after all of this debugging, this deep clean, a full system reset, what's left? Well, Section 5 covers the result, rebooting your reality from a totally clean slate.
So what does this fresh start really look like? Well, for starters, the slate is wiped clean. Past trauma loops are just deleted. You stop being run by all that invisible programming. The source material even suggests a physical change can happen, where your stressed-out cells can return to their natural, healthy shape. But the ultimate result? It's the freedom to consciously create a brand new reality.
See, this isn't just about fixing bugs, it's about unlocking your system's real potential. The core principle of this new, clean operating system is this: you are an infinite being with infinite possibilities. It's a huge shift from being a product of your past to being the creator of your future.
And so, this whole exploration really just leaves us with one final big question for you. With a completely clean slate and with infinite possibilities right there at your fingertips, what reality will you create now?